Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the War Train here. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys my newest gaming pickups, but I'm also going to be replying to my good friend Pacmancase. He has a great channel, guys. Definitely do yourself a favor and go check him out.
I have a question for my retro gaming bros.
You could ask yourself a question.
So this question goes out to War Train Wins, Show Me Retro, Iowa Retro Gamer Dad, Chill Scissors, Fit to Play Games, and I didn't forget you bigwigs, Pixel Game Squad, Retro Rick, and Gaming Off the Grid. I know you guys are all busy making content, but if you get a chance, I would really like to know the answer to this question from you guys. That question is, what item in your collection that you no longer have because you either sold it or got rid of it, do you regret?
What did you say?
I will say that one more time for clarity. What item in your collection did you get rid of or sell that you now regret?
I could honestly, right off the bat, I can think of a ton of stuff. I've got plenty of stories, but there's one that has truly bothered me over the years. But just so if you haven't seen his video, his was selling his God of War Special Edition PlayStation Portable. And I gotta say, I feel for him because I know that definitely had to hurt. It hurt just hearing about it. He actually sold his God of War Special Edition PSP and his whole PSP game collection for a DS. Now, I like the DS. DS is a really cool system, but man, a God of War PlayStation Portable, especially now, that thing is going for a good amount of money and is definitely highly sought after. And he's a big God of War fan, and I am as well, so I know that had to hurt a ton, and I know that still bothers him to this day. So I feel your pain, buddy. I definitely feel your pain. But I have stories of my own, but the one that has bothered me the most is selling my PlayStation Vita. Now, I've talked about it on this channel a couple times. It truly bothers me. It has since the moment I sold it. I just completely regretted it. But, you know, sometimes we do have to get rid of some stuff, you know, for whatever reason. And, you know, I've had good reasons, bad reasons, just whatever. But it always hurts to get rid of this stuff. That's why now I try not to sell anything in my collection unless I pretty much picked it up for, for planning on selling it or trading it for something that I really wanted in the future. But it definitely hurts. And I got rid of my PlayStation Vita and it bothered me. I don't know how many years went by. Definitely, I'd say a good 7 years. 7 years without even having one. So it bothered me enough that I recently had picked one up. Right here, I got a white PlayStation Vita. And this definitely made me feel a lot better. And how I even winded up getting one is I was in a GameStop and I was looking at PlayStation Vita games, and I noticed that every time I'm in there, I don't see a lot of them, and I don't see them in their original cases. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start collecting the ones that I find in their original boxes. And I grabbed, I think, two Vita games that were complete. And I was, talking to the guys up at the register. They didn't have any Vitas for sale, or I would have bought one, but they actually told me about somebody that called and they wanted to sell one, but there was possibly a reason why they wouldn't take it. The employee I was talking to wasn't really sure exactly what happened because he had called earlier before he came to work. But that guy actually winded up coming to the store while I was there right after that, and I was like, "Hey, are you still selling a PlayStation Vita?" And he was, and the reason they didn't take it is because it was this one, the Japanese model. So I was like, I don't care about that. I mean, honestly, these are region free. So I winded up taking this off his hands, and this thing is gorgeous. It is almost in mint condition, and I've had it for a bit now, and I've used it quite a bit. So pretty awesome stuff. And thanks again, man, for selling that to me. That was really cool of you. But this definitely made me feel better, but it didn't make it go away. Because originally I had the OLED model. This is the slim model. This came out after the fact, and it has an LCD screen. Now, the screen is really remarkable looking, but it's not the OLED. The OLED screen definitely has the advantage, and that was the model I had. So it still bothered me a little bit. And you know, these things weren't always at the GameStops or whatever for sale. So I winded up actually seeing one in a different GameStop maybe 2 weeks later. And that thing was in remarkable shape in the display case. And I actually asked to see it, and they showed me a couple other ones, but just that one they had in the display case looked gorgeous. And I winded up picking that one up. Here it is. I don't know if it's covered in fingerprints. These things are fingerprint magnets, but here it is, guys. This thing is still in remarkable shape. It has a couple little scratches on the back, but I mean, these things are, you know, old at this point, but this thing is remarkable. And once I compared the screens, I mean, it's obvious that the OLED looks a lot better. You could even turn down the brightness on the screen, and just the difference in contrast and quality is completely there. It's so evident. So I am so glad to finally have this back in my collection. But when I sold it, I sold everything. I sold all of my games. I sold the case that I had for it, which I had an official PlayStation Vita case. I had a grip for it that actually made it like a controller and gave it triggers and everything. It was awesome. And I got rid of the games that I had. At the time, it was like the height of Uncharted. I want to say Uncharted 2 was out, and I was glued to the multiplayer. And Uncharted at the time was my favorite game, you know, that was current. And I was just playing so much Uncharted. So when the Vita came out, obviously I was going to get Uncharted Golden Abyss, and that's what I got with it when I bought it, and that was the game I played the most on there. So I sold that, and I sold you know, my Mortal Kombat. I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, but at the time I was a big fan of the new one that came out. It came out for PS3 and for the Vita, and I got both versions, and I was playing that, and PlayStation All-Stars, which has Drake from Uncharted, and it has Kratos from God of War, some of my favorite gaming characters. So, those three games, even though I sold more, those three stood out and hurt the most that I sold all that stuff. So, I finally got them back too. So, here we got PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, which is PlayStation's version of Smash Brothers. And then I got my Mortal Kombat version back, thank God. So I can play this now. And my good friend Steve Craig got me Uncharted Golden Abyss back. So now I have those three games that just totally bothered me for so many years. So I am very happy now that at least that is in the past, and I finally, you know, have these items that just drove me mad. Every time I thought about it, it just made me really depressed. So I'm very happy to have these back into my collection. And you know what? The cool thing is now I've, you know, embraced collecting at this point, and it's just like I have so many more games for the Vita now. Just to show you, I mean, and this isn't even, you know, this isn't all of them or nothing, but I mean, here's just a stack that I grabbed. I mean, I didn't even have that many before. I might have had, you know, back then, maybe a handful, something like that. But still, I mean, it hurt because I absolutely loved the system. There are some great games for it. Actually, I was playing it this morning before I even seen his video and before I planned on even making this or showing any of this stuff. So it just shows you how cool of a console it is. I absolutely love it. And thanks, Steve, for picking me up that copy of Uncharted Golden Abyss. I really appreciate it, buddy. But go check out Steve Craig Retro Games channel, guys. You won't regret it. If you like handhelds and you like PlayStation Vita, I'm telling you, go check out his channel. He's got some awesome PlayStation Vita variants. The Soul Sacrifice version, which is just drop dead gorgeous, has a paint coating on it like a car. it's just like this gorgeous red. So nice of a handheld console. One of the nicest I've ever seen. But go check out his channel, guys. And I also want to throw this to a couple of my other gaming buddies and YouTube friends. Basically, Pacmancase already mentioned some of the guys, but I want to throw this out to some more people, like Steve Craig, Retro Games, and Sam from Contagious Collections, Ace from Fit to Play Games, and I don't want to forget Kamikaze Ikun. And check out these guys' channels, guys. Definitely put out some really cool content. But I would love to see what stories they have, because, this is really interesting to see what other people have sold in their collections through the years and just it's ate them up. I mean, most of us have sold a bunch of stuff that we do regret, but there's always that one thing that just drives you absolutely mad. And this was mine, the PlayStation Vita, which was basically brand new. I take care of all my stuff. So the one I got rid of was probably in absolutely mint condition. So definitely a shame. So at least I was able to find ones in good condition now. And, I got that stuff back. But thanks, Pacmancase, for, asking me, to put this reply video out. Really, really cool, man. And definitely, guys, check out Pacmancase's content. Really quality. Really good guy, too. But moving along to my new gaming pickups, guys. Now, the first thing I already did make a video on this, so if you guys haven't seen that and you're interested, go check that out. I picked up a PC Engine Core Graphics Mini. Now, this is the European version of the TurboGrafx 16. In Japan, they got the straight up PC Engine. We got the TurboGrafx 16 here in the States. Now, the only way you could get a TurboGrafx, the Core Graphics, or the PC Engine was to order them from Amazon. Now, I put in a pre-order, I want to say early last fall. Now, because of the pandemic, they aren't filling those orders right now. And they haven't gave a date when they're going to start doing that. The only orders that are being filled is in Japan through, Amazon Japan. And I was watching other YouTube channels buying these and reviewing them, and I'm like, how are they getting these? And then I heard they said you could get them through Amazon Japan. And I was like, you know what? I'll wait. And I was like, you know what? No, I can't wait any longer. I'm gonna go get one. And instead of ordering another TurboGrafx 16 Mini, because I could have got any one of them, I figured, eventually they are gonna ship that to me, and I will have that. But I watched them all be compared, and honestly, this is the same exact, thing. It has the same exact games, the same exact hidden games. All of them have, you can put either menu for each system, so they're all almost exactly the same. Now, the Japanese PC Engine one is a little bit different just because it has like two different games than this and the TurboGrafx, but I really liked the color variant on this, the blue and the gray. I thought it looked just gorgeous, so I wanted to get this one. As like I said, I didn't need two TurboGrafx Minis, so I got one Core Graphics and I'll have one TurboGrafx. And at least there's no difference, so it doesn't matter which one I play. Because you can actually switch the UI in the settings or whatever, and it looks like you're playing one of them other consoles. Now, these are really, really high quality and really good mini consoles. Let me tell you, I definitely am happy that I went ahead and ordered this. They're a little pricey at $100, especially they only give you one controller. But I'm telling you, the games on here are fantastic, and they did a great job. With this system, it's, I'd say, on par with the Sega Genesis Classic and the Super Nintendo, Classic. Those, to me, are like the, some of the best ones, top tier, and this definitely belongs up there with those because it is a fantastic mini console. And they got some great games on here. Just a ton of fun. And some of these games are really expensive, so if you wanted to buy some of the games on here, you'd be shelling out a ton of cash. So the $100 price tag, when you think about it like that, is definitely not bad. So I highly recommend that, guys. So I got that, but I also got some hardware stuff. So I'm always in the pursuit of taking my retro consoles and being able to display them on my new TVs with, the highest, definition or whatever, just making them look as good as I can and being able to put them through HDMI. Now you could do HDMI mods, but they are extremely expensive. Some of the parts are hard to get, some you have to wait until they they basically are selling more. So going a different route, I winded up getting the M Classic HDMI cable, which, if you're not familiar with this, this basically makes your system, it gets rid of aliasing, the jagged edges, and it works as like a new graphics card. It does some post-processing effects, and there's no lag to this, so it's pretty awesome. This will work with old retro consoles, new consoles, but really I got this to work with older consoles, and I got it really to work alongside this guy right here, the Super 64. And this is made by Eon. They are the same company that does make the Gamecube Gc HD, which is this guy. So as you can see, they both look like their respected consoles. This is the Nintendo 64 version. And if you're not familiar with the GCHD Mark II, it actually looks like this. It plugs into the back of your, it has to be an original GameCube with the digital and analog port on the back. It plugs in, and not only can you run an HDMI cable out of this, but you can also run Wii component cables out of this too. So you can have it analog or digital. You can run it both at the same time, but this also does add effects to it. You can put scan lines on a modern display with this guy. You can basically play your GameCube in 480 progressive scan, which definitely makes it look leagues better on a modern TV. And this combined with the M cable is definitely gonna make even the Mark II look better, and make the GameCube look a lot better. So really, I got the M cable to coincide with the Super 64. I've been wanting to get this since it came out last summer. Honestly, I kind of held off. I wanted to, watch reviews on it and stuff because it is on the pricey side. Both of these are. The M cable's about $100. This thing is about $150, I believe. I want to say I got like 20% off or something like that. I think it was like $130. But this plugs into the back of your Nintendo 64, and then you're able to run an HDMI cable out of it. So, you're able to plug this into a modern TV through HDMI, and it also has a little button or switch on it that you can push, and it has like a smoothing mode. So you can actually clean up the edges on the game already with this, but using the M cable with this and to get rid of some of that aliasing on top of it is just, remarkable. It's almost night and day to see the difference of just a standard native N64 on a modern TV, compared to using both of these together. Night and day. So I had to get these. I really wanted these for a while, so I'm really excited, and this is going to give me some new stuff to play around with, and it's also going to give me a way to capture game footage with my Nintendo 64, which prior to now I couldn't do it because I had no way to do it. So now that basically I'll have an HDMI hookup on the back of my N64, I'll be able to use my Elgato to capture game footage and stuff for future videos. So I'm definitely excited for that because, like now the only way or before, the only way I could do that was through emulation on my PC, and it's just not the same. You know, especially for the controls on the PC is just weird. So I would definitely prefer using, you know, real hardware. So I'm really excited about that. But I also did get a couple games, 2 games and 2 different systems. And both of these are ones that I did have on my main list of things to get, and now I can check these off the list. The first one is for the Nintendo Switch, and that is a twin pack of Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII. Now, the only places you can currently get this is PlayAsia or eBay, which they got it from PlayAsia. So, you know, it's roughly 50 some dollars. And I wanted this from when I first heard about it. I did actually get Final Fantasy VII digitally on my Nintendo Switch the first day it launched. And I was hoping that they would come out with a physical copy, and they did, just not here in the United States. So I was always planning on getting this, and I finally went ahead and ordered it and had it shipped here. So really happy to have Final Fantasy VII physically on a Nintendo console for the first time. So that is absolutely awesome and epic. So really happy to add this to the collection. And the last thing that I got for my newer pickups is Metroid Prime Pinball for the DS. Now, this is a just gorgeous copy. It's near mint, I mean, honestly, and it is complete. Now, this game comes with a rumble pack for you know, for the game, but you need a DS Lite is the only way that you can use the both, you know, the full features, because you need to plug the rumble pack into the Game Boy Advance slot. And thank God I recently picked up a DS Lite, and really this was part of the reason that I wanted a DS Lite, because I always planned on picking this game up. It's just I wanted to be able to use all the features, you know, and let me tell you, it is awesome. This game is fantastic. I love pinball. I love digital pinball, so I was having a blast playing this. I've already spent hours and hours playing this game, trying to beat my high scores and stuff. Definitely a really cool take on pinball by using, you know, Metroid. It's just done remarkably. You know, I wish they'd come out with new games like this, because this could be a franchise in itself, just having Metroid pinball, period. But really glad to have picked this up. And yeah, so that's my pickup, guys. You know, and I just want to say thanks to everybody for sticking through this video and watching it to the end. I want to give everybody an update on the Nintendo Switch Lite giveaway too. The winner was It's Sophia 25, and she lives in the Philippines. I have been in contact with her. She wanted the pink or coral Nintendo Switch Lite, which is the hardest color to get right now because of everything being shut down, especially by me. And plus, it's a new one. It's only been out, I want to say, for a little over a month at this point. So it's definitely sought after. So, you know, a little more difficult to get, pretty much was very hard to get, honestly. But I was able to get one. I've already purchased it, and I always was gonna surprise the winner with a game. You know, and honestly, I was gonna ask them what game that they wanted. And you know, I kind of always sort of like figured a lot of people would want Animal Crossing, but I figured I'd wait to find out from them. Well, because this one was so hard to get, the only way that I could get it at retail was to buy it in a bundle. Now, the game that I got it bundled with is a fantastic game. So she's actually getting it bundled with Super Mario 8 Deluxe, or Super Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Fantastic game. In my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, Mario Kart game ever made. The game is just a blast to play. So, you know, I just wanted to give everybody an update on that, you know, and hopefully in the future, once I get everything shipped to her, because I got to wait for it to be sent to me, and then I got to get it shipped to the Philippines. So You know, once that's all done, hopefully she'll be nice enough to maybe send me a picture or something, or I could get a picture from her from Instagram or something, and, you know, make a video and put it up there and everything. That'd be really cool. But congratulations to her again. I'm really happy for her, and thanks to everybody for participating. It was an absolute blast. You know, an absolute blast. Let me tell you, reading all the comments and everything, I just had a good time, as well as probably everybody else, just, you know, thinking and hoping to win. But thanks again for everybody watching. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, guys. And if you're not subscribed, think about subscribing to the channel. I try to put gaming content out like this as much as I can. But that's the video, guys. I'm the War Train, and I'm out. Have a good one.